Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching. Hello, I'm Tan Pham, founder and CEO of Asian Efficiency, where we help people become more productive at work and in life. And we're doing this YouTube live series every single day here on YouTube, where we share one tip to help you become more productive when you're working from home. So I know many of you are now at home and you're trying to figure out how to be more productive. How do you stay motivated? How do you actually get stuff done when you have your kids around or you have someone else, a roommate, a significant other, or even maybe some of you are taking care of family members. And you might have found that it's so much more challenging to be productive. And so I want to share a tip with you every single day to kind of help you navigate through these crazy times. And we also have a live training coming up at the end of the month. So if you want to register for that, we'll have a link to that in the description, or you can just go to theproductivityshow.com/home and register for it as well. So let's talk about today's tip, and that is to know when to stop. And what I mean with this is when you are working in an office setting, it's easy to know when you need to stop working. It's oftentimes when your coworker is walking in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna go home. I'll see you tomorrow," or you hear someone leave the parking lot, or you have all these visual cues around you of seeing people walk by and people leaving, or maybe there's like a clock that says, "Hey, 5 o'clock, you have to go." And when you're working from home, you don't have those kind of cues. It's really difficult to know when to stop working. And when work and personal life starts to kind of like blend in, it's really hard to distinguish what's work and what's personal, when you stop working, when you start working, and so on. And so, what people have found, and I found this to be true in my personal life as well when I first started back in 2009. Wow, it's been 11 years now since I worked from home. What they have found is that people who work from home tend to actually work more hours, sometimes 10, 12, even 14 hours a day, because again, they don't know the distinction between what's work and what's personal. And so they oftentimes end up working after dinner, late at night. And because they have a flexible schedule, they think they can just, check in and do random things throughout the day. And they often find themselves working more hours compared to people who work in an office setting. And so it's really important for you as you're now working from home. If you don't want to go crazy, if you don't want to get burned out, to set a cutoff time for yourself. So you want to create your own schedule and then have a very clear distinction of when you are going to end your day. So maybe it's 4 o'clock, maybe it's 5 o'clock, maybe it's 6 o'clock, depending when you start your day. Or some of you who might be waking up later, maybe it's like 10 o'clock or something. But you want to have a very clear cutoff time for you to say to yourself, you know what, at this time, I'm going to stop working. And then you'll see a lot of positive things happen. One is it's kind of like setting a deadline for yourself. So in a way, when you know you have to get a lot of stuff done and you say to yourself, hey, I need to be done by, let's say, 5 o'clock, then it gives you a sense of urgency. It's kind of like a false deadline in a way that helps you like focus and get stuff done before a certain time. So that's something you might find very useful as well. But also when you have that clear boundary in place, that you can kind of disconnect from work. So even though you are at home, maybe you have a separate office, by having that cutoff time, it's so much easier to kind of like disconnect and say, hey, work is over. It's now time to switch into personal time, personal mode, family time, and you can be so much more present. So you don't have to think about, oh, I need to check email after dinner, or like once the kids go to bed, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Nope, you did all of that before your cutoff time, right? So again, what I encourage you to do as next steps is, as you are creating your schedule, as I mentioned last week in the video, create a cutoff time for yourself. Set a specific time to say to yourself, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it might be for you. At this time, I'm going to stop working. Ideally, you want to put it on your calendar as well. And also let other people know about it so that they won't bother you after hours as well. But first and foremost, it's really for yourself. And as a bonus tip, communicate it to other people. And then try to stick to it as much as possible. So starting today or tomorrow, depending when you're watching this video, uh, set that cutoff time and stick to it. And you'll start to see that it's so much easier to keep going, to stay motivated, to be excited about your work and not go crazy when you have that cutoff time. So it's a really simple tip, but really powerful. It took me so many years to figure this out because, I had this flexible schedule. I could work whenever I wanted to. But once I created that cutoff time, it was so much easier for me to relax and disconnect and sleep better and knowing exactly that, okay, I need to get stuff done before a certain time. So implement that today. And if you want to have more information and tips on how to be productive working from home, we have a live training coming up. We'll have a link to it in the description, but you can also go to theproductivityshow.com/home and check it out there, and hope to see you there on the live training. And we'll be back tomorrow again with another tip. See you then. Bye.